name's Ralph Fulton. I'm a design director at Playground Games, working on Forza Horizon. So, as I said, I've got 15 minutes or so of chat to get through. There's a ton of stuff in Horizon that I really want to pack in. So forgive me if I seem to rattle through it, it's just there's a lot to show you. But before we start, let me talk to you a little bit about the genesis of this project, how it really came about. So, it's almost exactly 2 years to the day since I first met Dan Greenewalt and the guys at Turn 10 Studios here in LA. We had dinner and we talked about games, we talked about racing games, and we talked about car culture. And Dan used that dinner to really talk to me about his vision for the Forza franchise. Now obviously, I'm a gamer, I'm a developer, I've known all about Forza Motorsport, it's gone from strength to strength. But Dan wants to do more. He wants to turn car lovers into gamers, gamers into car lovers, and the ambition of that statement, I think, really resonated with us. We set Playground Games up to make racing games which make a difference. So Dan challenged us to go away and start thinking about how we could bring something entirely new to the Forza front, and that means it has pick up and play fun. So if you love driving cars fast, you're going to be able to jump right into this game and have fun immediately. But it's more than that. Action racing is about more than just pick up and play fun. It's about authenticity as well. Now, open world driving games of the past have been characterized by arcade handling, which is fine for them, it just doesn't work for Forza. In Forza, the car is the star. We believe every car is special, it has a unique personality. That's why we go to such lengths to research every car down to its most minute detail. So, action racing is about pick up and play fun, and it's about authenticity. And to that end we use Forza's best-in-class graphics and physics systems and its unrivaled handling to give every car a sense of believability and weight. And Horizon proves that you don't have to compromise on authenticity to make an open world driving game. So, Andy's going to jump in. Andy's my driver today because I still haven't learned to drive and talk simultaneously. So Horizon is all about showing off. So we have a system in the game which tracks exactly how stylishly and spectacularly you drive. Whether you're weaving in and out of traffic, smashing through things, drifting, just driving genuinely in a cool way. The game is going to award you with points, and Horizon, points mean popularity. Popularity is really important at Horizon because one of your goals is to become the most popular driver at the game, at the festival, sorry. And in doing so, you'll increase the rewards available to you, and also the opportunities which come your way. Now the other great thing about Horizon is that it's about the freedom of the open road. Colorado has some of the greatest driving roads in the world. Perilous mountain paths, high-speed interstates, but it also has off-road sections as well, farm tracks and dirt trails. So we knew that we had to introduce off-road racing to Horizon and to the Forza franchise for the very first time. Now that excited us at Playground because we have a lot of devs who have worked on some of the greatest off-road racing games, the Dirt franchise, the Colin McRae Rally series. When you combine that experience with Forza's best-in-class physics, you get an unrivaled off-road driving experience, which Andy's going to demonstrate now. You see it best from bumper cam. You really get a sense from this view of exactly what's happening as the car's tyres and suspension meet this bumpy and undulating surface. Forza's physics update 360 times every second, and that level of fidelity is absolutely essential to make sure that driving on these surfaces is as realistic and varied as possible. And as far as surface types go, we have 65 different types in the game. It's not just about dirt, it's not just about asphalt. There are many nuanced combinations in between, which means driving on them is always a varied and exciting experience. Whether you're sideways round a corner in a dirt race, or hooning across a golf course chasing your friends in an online multiplayer game, you're always getting the very best off-road driving experience. One of the cool things about the thrill of driving on the open road is that the world is populated with other civilian traffic. So we use Forza's Drivatar AI system to make all the protagonists in our world really believable, whether they're civilian traffic or festival cars. Guys just like you who have brought their cars to the Horizon Festival and are showing off on the roads around you. Now all of these festival drivers have personalities. They know where they're going. If they meet up within the world, they'll challenge each other to races. But the really cool thing is that wherever you meet one, you'll be able to challenge him to a race right there and then, and and win cash for beating them. And even better than beating these drivers is beating your friends. So to that end, Horizon tracks everything you do within the game and compares it to people on your friends list and on your car club. For example, Andy's going through a speed zone. At the moment, it's tracking his average speed on this particular section of highway. And the game automatically logs his score and compares it to someone on his friends list. And you can bet that that guy who just got beaten, the next time he logs into Horizon will get a message telling him exactly that. Horizon makes it really easy for you to show off to and beat your friends. So last summer we sent a lot of our art team out to Colorado to do a really deep research trip. They took 60,000 photos, they took hundreds of hours of videos. The one thing they all said when they came back was that you won't believe the views. So we knew right there and then that we were going to have to invest some serious time in technology to allow us to draw these views. Now Forza 4 has great vistas, right? If you played the Bernese Alps track, amazing vistas. The difference in Horizon is that if you can see it, you can drive to it. So we created what we call Uber LOD technology, or Uber LOD technology, which allows us to draw up to 20 kilometers in the distance while still maintaining the level of visual fidelity that you've come to expect and demand from a Forza game. Alright, let's fast travel to another part of the world, because there's still a lot I'd like to show you. Everything comes from the Horizon Festival. The Horizon Festival meant we were doing an open world game. As soon as we knew we were doing an open world game, we knew we had to implement a 24-hour day-night cycle and bring nighttime driving to the Forza franchise for the very first time.
Did the name come Horizon from that technology you're talking about?
It's a happy coincidence. Okay. But Horizon connotes freedom and exploration, and that's why we went with it. So, we started with Forza's image-based lighting system. Now that does such a great job of really seating the car within the scene. Our challenge was to make that system work in real time. Now to do that we've added a number of different systems. We have a fully real-time sky and cloud system which is constantly evolving. A dynamic sun which moves across the sky, casting dynamic shadows from all objects and cars. And finally atmospheric scattering, which picks out individual particles within the atmosphere and gives this view such a sense of depth and realism. And if Andy cheats a little bit and fastens forward to the time cycle, you can see exactly the effect that has on our world. The great thing about day and night in Horizon is that the driving experience is always changing. A road that you've driven during the day takes on a completely different complexion when you're driving it at night, lit only by the light of your own headlights. Okay, so we've been building this game for a while, and we test it as we build it to check that there are no problems with its design. Two of the problems actually that came up while we were playtesting Horizon are really simple. The first one is that people say this world is so huge, I get lost easily. Kind of makes sense. The second is related to that one. People say, sometimes I forget what I'm doing next or where I'm supposed to go next. And if you think about it, those are both problems which affect a whole range of open world driving. I guess the cultural aspects of it are really self-evident. It's a vast summer music festival with all the lights and sounds and crowds that you'd expect. But it's also the centre point for the competition within the game. Your goal as the player is to be crowned the new Horizon champion. And you'll do that by returning to the festival site itself frequently throughout your game, like you would to a town in Red Dead or Warcraft. It's here that you'll update your single player progress by entering circuit races and point-to-point races. It's also the place you'll come to jump online, whether that's by setting up a car club with your friends or jumping into rivals mode, which we'll talk about a bit more later. And finally, it's the place you'll come to indulge your car passion, both by painting and upgrading your car and by visiting the auto show to browse and buy from our extensive and varied car list. So we're not going to talk about specifics of our car list just yet, we're still in the process of blocking that